Nathan, now I know you talk about there being 4 components of maximising the value of any home that you sell: price, presentation, marketing, and the agent that you choose. And I know it's really important for you to talk through each of those 4 components when you talk to potential vendors. So I thought over the next 4 weeks we could have a chat about each of those. So yeah, basically would love to hear about those, and yeah.
That's a great idea, because people think that selling a home is as easy as just putting a home on the market and waiting for it to sell. Doesn't matter. Those 4 components don't matter much. If we get 1 or 2 of them right, it should do the job. But in my opinion, when you're looking to sell your most expensive asset, you can't afford to not have the 4 components done perfectly with any flaws in either of them. We talk about price, we talk about the presentation, we talk about the marketing, and the agent who you're going to choose to represent your property. Now I want to come back to talk about price first. And when you speak to anybody, they say the three components usually people would say: price, presentation, and marketing.
Okay.
Yet advertising price on properties you hardly ever see.
No.
You don't see in any property agents market property, they put a price or a price guide on the property. Now, putting an exact price on a property, I totally appreciate it's very hard. But putting a price guide on it, I think is crucial. And we've had experience for the last 5 years. We've achieved some amazing results, and every single people that we deal with as our vendors, they over the moon with the way we do things. And our buyers, the buyers that deal with us, they feel comfortable, and we achieve a maximum price because one of the things that we do, putting a price guide on all our properties. Now, people will say when you put a price guide on a property, that puts a bracket or a barrier on a property. You can't go over the price guide, and we've seen it many times that we achieved well above market price with a price guide. And I always tell people, like, it's the goal is to create tension around the home. To create tension around the home, we must have a price guide in a property, in all property, and the price guide must be realistic.
Absolutely. And I think the buyers appreciate it too, don't they?
Yeah.
Because they want to know when they come to look at a home that it isn't within their price range as well.
Absolutely. What our goal as agents is to maximize the value of the property. We've got to sell the property for most money possible for our vendors. Now, in order to do that, we must open the property up to every single buyer. And interestingly, there was a research done, Kylie, that 75% of buyers, if there's no price or a price guide on the property, they would just go one look at the property. And I get calls every single day. In fact, I got 2 calls yesterday. One of them, a guy was screaming, say, "Why don't you put price guides on properties or price on the properties?" And I said, no, we do.
Yeah.
We actually do. We got our way to put guides on properties. So he was okay. And then somebody else said, "I'm not going to look at any homes. I've stopped looking at homes if there's no price on it or if it's up for auction." But I explained to her, I said, all our properties got price guides on it. She said, "We appreciate it." And even our auctions, every property that we market, we've got price guides on it. And reason behind that is because for us to be able to get most money possible as our job is to get most money possible for our vendors, is to open the market up to every single buyer.
Absolutely.
Correct?
Yeah.
And as I said, there was research done, 75% of buyers don't look at a property if there's no price or a price guide on it. Now, if we were to maximize the value of a property, we can't do it with 25% of the market.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So why do we put price guides on property? Why don't they put price guides on properties? There's a lot of old habits in real estate still. It's getting better, but there's still a lot of old habits. Like if you go 5 years before, when we started Najib, there was nobody would put information on the website. Like, you know how you click, you get all the documentation on the property?
Absolutely.
5 years ago, there was none of that.
Right.
There was none of it. Now, everybody's doing it. So it
Yeah.
takes time for a culture to change, right?
Yes.
And we're doing it.
Sounds, yeah, absolutely. People want information these days too, and they want it at their fingertips. They don't want to wait. They don't necessarily want to have to call someone to get
Yeah.
that information that is pretty essential or basic to when you're looking for a home.
And people don't have the time
Yeah.
anymore.
No.
Like now, families work. Both husband and wife works.
Yeah.
They get half an hour or an hour over on a Friday night. They don't want to have
Yeah.
to call every single agent
Yeah.
and find out what the property is, what they want for the property. And when they call agent will say, "I'm not too sure." You come and find out what the house is worth. Now let me
Yeah.
reason with me for a minute. If you walked into a car dealership and you said there was no price on the cars, you would think this car dealership is going insane.
Yeah. Or into any shop, anywhere. Yeah.
And if you ask the car dealer or the salesperson, say, what's this car worth? He says, "You make me an offer. You tell me what it's worth."
Yeah.
You would think the guy's going insane.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
exactly the same. There's
Yeah.
no difference, right?
Yeah.
People are time poor now. They want information. They want information readily.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be calling agents and agents messing them around, not giving them information.
Yeah.
So I say to our agents here and to all agents is people like deal with the easiest agent. Be the easiest agent to deal with if you want to be successful moving forwards.
Absolutely. And transparent and open with them.
Absolutely, the old school
You know.
ways of doing real estate
Yeah.
is no longer working.
Why keep it a
thankfully.
secret? It's not a secret. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And our goal is to maximize the value for the vendors, and the only way to maximize the value of the property is to get every single buyer involved in the competition, create tension around the house, and so pricing it fairly,
Yes.
putting a guide on it, and I say is a professional agent who's done a thorough research should know about 10% what the home is worth, any home.
Absolutely, and I it was sort of popping into my mind earlier, it's not just about throwing a price on it or picking a price out of thin air.
Yeah.
You're looking at the market, you're looking at what's recently sold in the area, what we've been recently selling. It's you know, it's quite it's a process you go through,
Yeah.
and you want to make that price guide as realistic and as correct as possible.
And that's one of the other reasons that they don't put price guides on properties is because agents are lazy. Agents are lazy. So to do this job properly, and we take this job very, very, very serious, right? And it's people's most expensive assets. So if we get the opportunity to somebody handing over their keys, you've got the privilege to having access to their house. Not many people do have access to their homes, right? So if you get the privilege, so you should take that job very seriously. The research that goes behind the scene when we market a property, when you put price guides on it, it's like you said, we don't just put a price guide from thin air. We do a very thorough research and put price guides on properties. Hence, we get most of our the price that we get are absolutely amazing. And for example, the property that we list that's been on the market in the past, I can give you an example of Taylor Avenue, Braithwaite Street, High Crest, High Peak was privately marketed. Why don't same market?
Yeah.
Why can't they get results and we get it?
Yeah. Being realistic, being open, being transparent. Yeah, absolutely.
In conclusion, Kylie, not including price guides on properties is driving the buyers crazy. It's costing the vendors money. Now, I suggest this is the most important thing when you're marketing a property.
Absolutely. Definitely. Great advice.